If you're a hunter or a shooter and you're serious about the sport, you need to look into buying a suppressor, and there's nobody easier to make that process happen than Silencer Central. Hi everybody, Brad Fitzpatrick here for RMEF. I'm a contributor for Bugle Magazine, and we just finished an elk hunt here at the Express UU Bar Ranch in northern New Mexico. And as every elk hunter knows, you need a lot of tools to make an elk hunt come together. And one of those tools that I think is essential is a suppressor. And the one that I used on this particular hunt was this one right here. It's the Silencer Central Backcountry. It's brand new. And as the name suggests, it's designed really with the wilderness hunter in mind. The first thing you'll notice about it when you look at it is it's really short. It's only 5.7 inches long, and that's great because a lot of rifles that are threaded for suppression have short barrels. Like this X-Bolt here has a 22-inch barrel. And that keeps overall length down a little bit, so it's easier to move through trees and things like that. The other great thing about this suppressor is that it is all titanium construction, so it's very light. With the direct thread mount adapter that you see here that's attached to it, this suppressor only weighs 9 ounces, and that's a lot lighter than a lot of competing suppressors. It doesn't add a lot of bulk to your rifle, actually makes your rifle balance really well. So a lot of people have questions about suppressors and suppressor ownership, and Silencer Central is a great company to work with if you're buying your first suppressor or your 10th suppressor, because Brandon Maddox, the company president, really has developed a system, and he's worked with the ATF to make suppressor buying as simple as it can possibly be. They handle a lot of the work for you. And I'm a perfect example of a person who wasn't going to own a suppressor. 3 years ago, I didn't own any. And I interviewed Brandon and talked to him, and he said that the best way for me to understand how suppressor ownership worked was to actually buy a suppressor, go through the process, and it was much, much simpler than I thought. They set up a trust for you. If you don't know what a trust is, the folks at Silencer Central will help you understand that. They help you do all the paperwork. They file the paperwork for you, and it's really a very, very simple process. You need to have a suppressor if you're going to hunt because it's going to help reduce muzzle blast, it's going to help reduce recoil, and everybody knows that suppressors make things quieter. It's not like in the movies where everything is silent. That's not true. It drops, though, the noise considerably down to about 138 decibels with this particular model on my 300 Win Mag, which is hearing safe. And that's great. That means you don't have to have any extra hearing protection. And most hunters know somebody who has shot rifles their entire lives, who's had hearing loss, maybe total hearing loss, and that's not something that you want to have happen when you're in the field. So that's one great thing about this suppressor. Another thing is it actually improves accuracy, is what I've found for most people, and it reduces recoil. Now, when we talk about recoil, a lot of people think that recoil is strictly the force of the rifle coming back. But felt recoil, perceived recoil, is actually a combination of factors, and one of those things is muzzle blast and the noise. Our bodies are tuned so that if there's a loud noise, we tend to flinch, and that's one of the reasons people flinch. It's not just the actual felt recoil, but the muzzle blast can impact that as well. So you'll probably find when you put a suppressor on your rifle, you're going to shoot more accurately. You get a little boost in velocity, and typically you're going to see your accuracy get much better, but it's just a much nicer way to hunt. It's a great tool for the hunter. It's something that you definitely want to have. When you're hunting in the backcountry, you want a suppressor that's tough and durable, and the all titanium construction here really makes this very tough, very strong. It's going to stand up well. It's got all welded construction. It's rated up to the 300 Magnum, so it's a very, very versatile tool. As I said, this one has the direct mount on here that allows you to mount it to any rifle that's threaded 5/8 by 24, which is most rifles that you're going to find. So if you're a hunter or a shooter and you're serious about the sport, you need to look into buying a suppressor, and there's nobody easier to make that process happen than Silencer Central. So visit their website at silencercentral.com, and as always, check us out at rmef.org for the latest tools and conservation news.